This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, beginning at verse 1. And it reads, Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Verse 2, But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. Verse 3, And the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet, that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be touched. And even he shall rule whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth, and the fowls shall take their flight away together. And the Sodomitish sea shall cast out fish, and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. Verse 8, There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and mistress women shall bring forth monsters. And salt waters shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret place. Salakia. And understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber. Verse 10, And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon the earth. One land also, Salakia, and shall, verse 10, and shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to God, Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders, a great millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwap and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit, through the power of Yahweh Shem Shah. So the brother Awarwan from the Men of Valor Camp did a video. Well, it's a short, but just showing you these days, and that's why I came with that 2nd Ezra. So I'm gonna play the video. First, I'm gonna play this copyright thing, cause I be my luck how Satan be fucking with me. It be copy struck. So being that's out the way, let's get this. It's the second plan of it. And, again, it came to my attention through the brother Awarwan, but I found the video on this guy's page. I haven't checked out his content, but he probably has some very interesting content. Matter of fact, I'm going to subscribe to him just to, I can always unsubscribe. But, so that's why I came out with that 2nd Ezra, because at the end of the day, it talks about these things coming to pass. When you read 2nd Ezra, it talks about the tokens, meaning the signs, and certain things are consistent with the signs of the last days. You're gonna have a number of people in land to be bearing of faith. Right now, I believe I've read something or heard somewhere they said you got a lot of atheists right now. especially with right after 2019 because of the lockdowns, the pandemic, yada yada yada. Then you're seeing all this lawlessness, this lawless behavior. That's a sign of the times. You're seeing these weather. You're seeing the pestilences. You're seeing shit. They talking about famine, major food shortages in the news. On CNN. Your daily news, and people are not taking heed to these things. And that's a sign of the last day. You got to understand when you read the scriptures, like at the time of Noah. Noah, it talks about that the people were still eating and drinking and giving to marriage when the flood came. And it's going to be like that this time as well. Most High God is calling out to people. That's why, people think that those men that's on them street corners wearing those dresses that they so disrespectfully claim. My demon said that one time. Not understanding, stupid bitch. That's part of your heritage. So why would the Lord want to, you call it a dress. That's part of your heritage. If you read the law, while all you Christians supposed to read the Bible so much, it tells you that you're supposed to wear fringes with a blue border. So you can understand, because the border of blue is to remember the law, statutes, and commandments. The fringes, all that is part of your heritage. You got stupid ass people of our nation that sit up there and disrespect, talking about it's a dress. You know what I'm saying? But then they don't say that about an Arab that wears the because you have other cultures where men wear things that cut. Shit. The Irish is wearing kilts. You got Today Fashion America where you got niggas like what's that motherfucker that played it I can't think of this motherfucking actor name. But remember at one point in time, they was pushing the agenda where you had all these black actors and athletes. They had LeBron James in one of them kilts. You had Kanye West. But then they call hilarity of this situation, man. So it talks about menstruous women bringing forth monsters, and that's going into actual like deformed babies. It was a video on YouTube where a mother had a child that's, I guess, two twins, and they're joined to the head. They got separate bodies, but they joined to the head. They got like one face. That's a prophecy. And then you have these spiritual monsters. Because those little children doing that. That's when you go into the word inconsistency. It means basically lawlessness. And you about to see that take place on a whole new level. When things get rougher and more, that's why, people pride themselves on talking about the areas they grew up in. The rougher area is supposed to make rougher people. The elder Apostle Taharo, he makes this statement. He said, good times make weak men. Weak men make bad times, and bad times make strong men. Because out of that, the Most High, and that shows you with the scriptures about the Most High refining a man and making him is fine gold. The only way to purify gold is you got to dip it in the fire. That's why it talks about chastisement. Nobody really wants nothing that's easily gotten. You get integrity and character from actually going through hardships and whatnot. Why do you think you got people like Shaquille O'Neal and Mayweather saying that basically they children can't live up, their daughters can? Shaquille said that out of his mouth. I think they said Shaquille is damn near close to being a billionaire now too. Brother brought out how I think Tiger Woods and LeBron James just became billionaires. And yet still, what are they doing for their people? And the thing is, if you understand how the system's set up, they can do certain things for the people. They could hold a neighborhood cookout, but they couldn't, with the amount of billionaires and wealth that's in Yasharala. Well, Israel is not all Israel anyway, though. So, but the amount of so-called black people that have money right now, you don't think they could change the circumstance of the nation? It's not carnal, though. And that's what people don't understand. Look at Nipsey Hussle. What he was trying to do? He was going to try and change his whole, he was going to police the community, fix up the community. He was going to actually have people eating better. That's why he was dealing with Dr. Sabi. What happened to him? He ended up getting killed because it was, don't you get it? It's not really them. It's the Most High God. You know what I mean? Like, it tells you that the Most High God orders man's steps. So you can plan out whatever the fuck you. That's why that show you how cold it is. You really think you got you making free choice? You got your free choice. You don't have free choice. You can't even change how you look. Like nobody has free will like that. Everything was ordained. And that's why that scripture said the Most High ordered the steps of man. You know, if you overcome something, that's what a champion is, the meaning to overcome. So if you overcome something that was put in you by why you think certain boxers and athletes, the first thing they want to do is thank the Most High God. Now, I don't know how sincere it is because I wasn't there. I don't know the man's hearts. The Most High does. And that's why he does what he does. That's why David could be forgiven for basically sin on the death, while, disobedience from the prophet got him killed. But it also tells you that obedience is better than sacrifice. This thing is deep, but it ain't that deep. Don't make it too deep. It's just one deep, At the end of the day, we all got to be in subjection to something, especially in this fucked up ass system. You got men talking about they do this, they do that, they run their household, they run they woman, but yet still you getting ran by an Edomite. And ultimately the Most High running him. Because although, it tells you in scripture, all things work to the good for those that love him. We asking for the end of this shit because you don't even understand where they trying to go with this. I mean, if you see surveillance everywhere right now, just imagine when they putting the technology inside your body. And they literally coming out on forums saying this shit. So, I'm a little bit all over the place. Because it's it talks about through the foolishness of preaching, it pleased the Most High to say those, roughly paraphrase. This, I ain't going to say is a foolish thing because, but at the end of the day, nobody's going to be able to say that they did not know. I remember the Messiah said that in the book of Luke. He said, if I had not come, they would have no cloak for their sins. But now that I have come, they have no cloak. So you can't say you didn't know. So I played that video, and like I said again, that's the sign of the times, the lawlessness. And you're going to get more and more lawlessness, and it's going to be from them little damn demons. Because if they don't give a fuck about their own life, them little goofy ass little kids was just run. And that was all Jake. They running across a moving fucking train. You know how easily it tells you in scriptures, do not tempt the Most High. Even Yahweh Shah said that was one of the ways he got Satan up off of him and rebuked the shit out of the devil. He said, well, go out, you command these. He said, what did he say? Jump off the hill and it says that he'll get the angels charge over thee, that the one I dash thy foot against the stone. Then he said, command these stones to be made bread. And he said, man does not live by bread alone. Because the way you combat Satan is you basically combat him through the scriptures. When you understand, it talks about the fiery darts, people get thoughts. I mean, brothers have attested to this. I get them. Where the fuck this thought come from? You thinking about you doing some other shit, just a crazy ass thought come pop up in your head. If that ain't scriptural and spiritual, you know what I mean? The only way to combat Satan or something spiritual, because you can't fight Satan, or a demon carnally. You know what I mean? Like everything has to be. I mean, like it's spiritual. Even if in that chick Rebecca Brown, I remember my demon had hit me onto this chick named Rebecca Brown, and that's how you know the microchip, the RFID technology is real, because this lady been writing books for years. This shit is old. Rebecca Brown, go check her out. And literally, she got like 4 books, and she was talking about the RFID chip like back in the 80s. You got movies with this technology in the back from the 80s, though. Now we in 2022, and they literally got people with this shit in them. But the difference now is they're about to try and do it on a massive scale. So the last days, again, talks about, the things we're seeing now we were going to see in the last days. And that's how you be a watchman. That's how you watch for the signs. You looking and lining up things going on in the world with the scriptures. Imagine this. If these little fucking demons don't give a fuck about their own lives, you really think they're going to give a fuck about yours when they try and come take your shit? That's something to ponder. This is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days, perilous times shall come. Let's look up the word perilous for those that don't read. So off the top of my head, I don't know what it means. I have a guess at what it means, but it means dangerous. It's basically perilous. Full of danger or risk. Exposed to imminent risk or danger or ruin. So dangerous times. And when you got individuals that will risk their own life, makes me think of that movie I Got the Juice with Tupac. One of his, I think it was his first movie, actually. And he said he don't even, when he got the pistol, he said he didn't give a fuck about his own self. That's the wrong individual to have. That's why you feel, that's like when they say about how motherfuckers like jack boys. You got people that sold drugs. You got people that rob people. But people that rob people usually like to rob people because they get off on the power. And that's not real power. That's Esau's blessing. That ain't really Jake's. It tells you in the book of, where's that at? I think Psalms 110. My people will be willing in the day of thy power. Because you ain't seen true power yet. See, the Most High God is expecting, you got to be put in imminent danger. It tells you that Yahweh Shah, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, his name means he saves. He's salvation. So you got to be in imminent danger to be, saved. Being saved is not being dunked in the water. You know what I mean? If he told you saved now, John was baptizing then. He was doing that. John was baptizing with water. So then why did they need Yahweh Shah to come? Verse 2, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, selfish, vain, covetous, selfish. Especially in these days when it's going to be less of things, the things you need to live on a day-to-day basis. Shit, they just talk about it's a tampon shortage. Like literally. And what comes with a lack of tampons? Like women are put in a situation where they literally have to be more hygienic because of the fact they literally have a menstrual. What happens when you ain't no running water and then that's when the Lord gonna see, it takes for a person to be brought low. That's the whole purpose of being brought low. To realize you ain't shit. I remember me and my demon, we both was homeless. And I thought I was somebody in the world. And the difference between me and her is literally, I realized I ain't shit and she's still proud. And maybe that's why the fuck she don't have a place now and I do. It ain't that baby why. I know that's exactly why. Let me tell you, she sent me to jail and when I was fucked up and she in a place. And probably don't even get it. She ain't never once apologized, none of that. That's pride. Proud. Ain't that the spirit? It says covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers. You got people sitting up there like that fucking Amalekite sitting up there talking about we gonna surpass the Most High God. That's blasphemy. You didn't create yourself, so and it talks about that in the scriptures. How is the work gonna say to the potter, you made me wrong? Disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, meaning people gonna be cruel to one another. And it tells you that in the book of 2nd Ezra about how they gonna go house to house, spoiling houses, seeking food. I ain't gonna get it, but you know what I mean? And we living in these times. You know what I mean? Like, in certain places, they living a lot rougher than, in other places. But eventually it's going to go to the four corners. Because this ain't just something that's going to be happening in America. They're talking about a worldwide grain shortage. A worldwide food shortage. Why do you think what's going on in certain places like where they fighting at in the Ukraine and Russia? Like literally they talking about they're stopping the bread. That's why Putin is literally attacking certain key regions. It says traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. People have a understanding. They believe in the power, but they believe in the power of they understanding like this AA. When you go into the AA, that literally them two guys that created that, they were Masons. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, when you really get an understanding of what is going on and see this place for what it is, you're gonna be in all your mind gonna be blown. And hopefully you have enough sense left to repent and come back to the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, your power. Because at the end of the day, but the thing is this, it is a time limit with it too. The doors of mercy is still open right now. When you just see all hell breaking loose, you know, like the Lord is not going to be, you know, it talks about how people going to call onto the Most High God and he's not going to hear them. It's going to be people that knew the name that's going to call on him and he's not going to hear them. So how much more so for those that don't even know his name? How the fuck you going to get rescued by something, but they don't know who you are and you don't know who they are? You call them the wrong name. I mean, like this, a child will catch that. But you talking about the name don't matter. What the fuck you mean? That's just like a parent or, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's anybody. They talking about in Michigan, the sheriff said literally because they have a gas budget and they already exceeded the budget that if it ain't life threatening, they not even coming out to the call. But they work in law enforcement. So you can understand how something that turned from one, a person could leave a house, you know what I mean? And a demon could jump on that person. They bend back around the house and try to fuck that person up. You know what I mean? Like, so they setting up the perfect scenario for The Purge. You know, I remember when I first seen that movie, The Purge, I seen the spirit on that shit, especially when they was sitting around the round table and they was going to kill that bitch. I was like, this some demonic shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, when you come to see the agenda that they pushing with that. So, you know, I'm going to end probably with the book of Matthew. Because this is coming from the words of, this is coming from the mouth of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. You know, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24. I ain't mean to go that long. 24 and verse, I'm going to start at verse 1. And it reads, and Yahweh Shah went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahweh Shah said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Verse 3, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So basically, you know, I forgot what sermon that was, but after the sermon, basically the disciples came to him privately and asked him what would be the signs of his coming and the end of the world. So when you ever, if you wasn't aware, when you see anything in red letter, those are the words of our Savior, who people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. But in the Hebrew, we know his name as Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. It says, and Yahweh Shah answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Because you got false pastors and false prophets, you know. You know, it tells you in the scriptures, if a prophet's word come not to pass, then the Most High hadn't sent him. You know a prophet because the things that they say come to pass. And the things that we speak on, people don't even want to hear it. But, you know, that's the crazy part about it. It's not really our words you're rejecting. It's he whom has sent us. Because these ain't our words. You know, you got these false pastors that sitting up there, they telling you to eat shit that's unlawful. Listen, why would you go to seek spiritual salvation from a pastor that said, okay, you stay in the house while you send me money over the internet or, you know what I mean, through the mail while we do this shit on Zoom? Now, mind you, this is spiritual. At a time when people needed spirituality, that's why a lot of people left the church and they knew that shit was going to happen. But yet still, the brothers was out on the highways and byways throughout the whole pandemic. I have yet to meet a brother that's supposed to, you know, I have yet to meet a brother that got sick with the COVID. So I don't know, you know, and we coming into times of faith. Like you would, like if you don't have no hope, that's what the book of Eli was. She couldn't even read, but based on the words of the book, she had hope. Verse 5. And the thing is, if you really got a spiritual eye and watch that movie, because I hated that movie when I first saw it, but I wasn't in the truth. When I watched it again, the truth, I said, damn, this is the coldest movie. Because it's a spiritual eye. You know, you had the Edomite. He was running around. He wanted the book to control people. And Eli, who Denzel Washington played the character of, he didn't even know why he was taking the book. He was just being obedient, following the voice. He just knew not to give it to him. Nobody, you know what I mean? Like, right. Verse 5, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. You know, you had church pastors telling people to go take that fucking jab and stab the jump shot. You know what I mean? People done fell out and they talking about right now, Justin Bieber, he said he canceled all his shows because his face is paralyzed. Why you think that is? Remember when Wendy Williams' feet swole up and shit when she took it? And you shall hear of wars and rumors of war. And the thing is this ain't even me making it up on my own fucking opinion. That literally is not proven like that. It's a experiment. They just coerced you. They deceived you into taking it. Shit, I got a video where a military lawyer, he said he was helping a lot of the military soldiers literally get out of taking it. That's why a lot of them refused and got discharged. But they threatened people, talking about you're going to lose your job, you're going to get discharged. And you had people that took it because of that. And you had people that literally went and lost shit. But I know brothers that literally didn't have to go through that shit. That literally, some kind of way, the Lord made a way for them. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And you hearing of these rumors of wars right now. Russia and Ukraine is really at war. That ain't no, now I don't know what all the propaganda is. But I do know this, they really at war. I've seen footage. And this what was based on like the news. This is people taking video footage with their cell phones. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You can't be troubled by these things. It tells you in the Apocrypha about put far away from these mortal thoughts. You know, your day to day, how you live, or your children. I mean, like, it's not easy to do, especially like what really used to piss me off and how I used to be, you know, spiritually weak in that aspect when a certain brother would make a statement, but they don't have the same lot as you. How the fuck you gonna tell me how it is to just easily disregard children and you ain't got none? But then I had to re-look at it and reapproach it, because if you really believe that the Lord is dealing with that brother, the Lord can use a nigga to tell you something that's spiritual. If he used the donkey to speak. See, I was looking at certain things carnally. Because the thing is this, we about to all make heavy sacrifices and choices. The thing is this, you gonna serve the Lord, you're gonna sacrifice regardless. Even if you don't want to serve the Lord, you're gonna sacrifice. But I'd rather go ahead and be serving the Lord, catching my hell now, than catching my hell later. Because the thing is this, you got people that's completely unaware of what the fuck is about to happen. And that's gonna really be the ones that bug the fuck out. You know, like these Edomites that ain't never had to go to the motherfucking literally had to go to the soup kitchens and to the pantry lines. Shit, it was just literally a shooting where an Edomite shot 10 niggas at a grocery store. And I had just been at my job like the week before they just did a safety meeting talking about an active shooter. I was like, this is some witchcraft, but it was spiritual. You're going to have Edomites that's going to blame us for the reason of why they kingdom going down, not understanding this they own people that's bringing this bitch down. We don't own nothing here. They'll put a Jake in jail for 100 fucking years like, what's that nigga name? I can't think of the nigga name right now. But the nigga that started the GD. Larry Hoover. You know, when all he did was capitalize and literally showed you how he could actually manage it. Like, he could have managed, if in a different situation, he could have managed a corporation. But Jake is not meant to prosper here. Yeah, that nigga ain't own no motherfucking planes or no shit like that. Like, he don't own no boat. That's a nigga. I didn't even understand, you know, when they pushed GD, I didn't even understand how big, like, that was an organized thing for real. when you really go into it, like I said, when I see them, you know what I mean? You thinking, oh yeah, these niggas I bet these niggas ain't. But then when you really go into the history, like damn, when you catch it, you see his mug photo. This man wearing furs and all that. This man was getting money. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, you know, like I say, they'll push that on Jake as if like Jake, just like right now, if you look at the whole thing with the monkey Pete, like every time you see a picture of that, it's a Jake. It's somebody got melanin. You know, I have yet to see a Edomite cracker looking with all them bumps on him. You don't think that's psychologically putting something in your mind? Listen, we live in a society where they literally put the candy and shit like that right at the checkout aisle because in psychology, that's called an impulse buy. They know you might have children with you. You might see that shit because you're waiting in the line, and that might make you and prompt you to buy that. That's witchcraft. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then it goes into, you know, the afflictions for those that's going to be persecuted for the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua's namesake. But I'm going to skip to verse 12, the point. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So the iniquity, meaning sin upon sin, is going to increase. So people are going to get more cold to one another. And that makes me think of, again, 2nd Ezra. I think it's like 19 or something about talking about they're going to be spoiling each other's houses in search of bread, meaning food. Verse 13, because he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So why, again, and that brings that full circle when I was talking about you just being dunked in some water doesn't save you. You know, that was symbolic of starting anew. You was like kind of being reborn. But that didn't mean you was saved. You know, save is like love, is an action. Anybody can say this shit. You prove you love by your actions. I would have, you know, but certain people don't understand that. Some people, you know, like I've always been, I really just start saying love to my daughters. You know, I've never really been the type of, because I didn't grow up in a household where we said that shit. But I mean, I knew I was loved to a degree because I was taken care of. What the fuck? Now that don't necessarily mean anything. And if you learn that in your household, damn, yeah, you know, brother sit up there and said some shit. He said, the Lord crafts who he crafts the way he crafts you. That's why we all have tailor-made childhoods and shit like that. Like my big brother, he literally grew up in foster homes. Now he got a big ass family. I know he love his kids, but then some of the things he say, I believe what he's saying. He like, you know, I didn't grow up with a lot of love. So his mindset is a certain kind of way. And the Lord tailor made that for him for what purpose the Lord created him for. We all have a purpose here. You know, you got some people's purposes to be saved, to receive salvation, while you got a lot more people that's purposes to be destroyed. And that's in the scriptures. It talks about how this world was made for many, but the world to come was made for few. Everybody ain't about to sit in no king, get no kingship, because everybody ain't willing to do the things they got to do to become a king. So, and you can't be a king in another man's kingdom. You know, we ain't even kings of our household. I done went to jail and some shit I'm paying for. Then Stryker didn't do shit, all based on what the fuck she said. And I can say anything. You know, a bitch can get up in public in front of the police and say anything. As long as she don't say she gonna, and they sit and watch that shit for real. This is how fucked up this place is. I've been around dudes that got locked up in the spot all based on because she said this shit. So, if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole, Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. We living in the last days, and you gonna need to, because if not, you shall be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyim, like Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Hashem, Double honors to the apostles and to the elders, a great millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Yakim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad and in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. I want to say shalom, shalom, and mawatha lababah, shalom.